everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Vampire Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Darling Cloudy Snarl, who has recently arranged the betrothal of Prince Zaro and Dame Zuleika. The court certainly has some mixed feelings about this, particularly the vampires involved. While Zaro thinks his mother's made the best choice for him out of his suitors, the Darkpounds family believe they've been shortchanged by a match they didn't want. But things are about to go from complicated to worse, because Queen Darling isn't done just yet. With the previous match still fresh in everyone's mind, she's decided to announce the betrothal of her daughter, Crown Princess Zara, to the son of the late Lady Miko, Lord Yorick. In doing so, she will link the Cloudy Snarl and Grace White bloodlines for the ages to come. While the monarch's opinion of Yorick has become very low, she's become aware of the attachment between him and Zuleika. Any hint of the Darkpounds being dissatisfied will not be tolerated, and so she has felt it prudent to take that choice away from them by tying him to Zara. After all, what can they do if he's promised to someone far above their station? Zara's feelings on the matter are quite mixed. On one hand, she's been rebelling against this very thing since she was a child. But on the other, she feels her brother has betrayed her by his match to Zuleika, and wants to see the look of horror on Zuleika's face now that Yorick is hers. While her betrothed is no friend, he's not nearly as bad as she once thought, and now that Zuleika wants him, he's even better. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said of Yorick. Much of his thoughts aligned with Zuleika's, especially on the matter of marriage. While he understands Zara is a most prestigious match, he's always kept his distance from the royal twins and finds it heartbreaking that his and Zuleika's fates are now tied to them. It was never supposed to be this way, not in any of the futures he had imagined. All he can do now is keep a smile on his face and walk on eggshells around his royal betrothed. Well guys, court politics is definitely cranking up. We have yet another betrothal, a back-to-back match that has just occurred because everyone is scheming at this point. Even Queen Darling feels herself kind of pulled to make decisions because she is trying to cut off others in her court. I mean, she did the whole arrangement between Zaro and Zuleika as a way to patch up the relationship that her family has with the Darkpounds because of the rivalry, and then she found out that Akira and Zuleika weren't really happy with Zaro and they had their eyes set on Yorick, so she wanted to take away that option from them, so she decided to rush basically a betrothal between Yorick and Zara. So things are very complicated right now, and our Sims definitely have some feelings about it. Now, this is a party that we are kind of doing, but instead of having a party event, I just decided to have the queen basically call over the Sims that are relevant to this particular betrothal, so I thought Lady Vladislav should be invited. And then we have Jasminda, who is Yorick's father. He's talking to Jasminda right now. And then we have Baco obviously because he is the father of Crown Princess Zara. So everyone has some feelings about this. We're going to go through some of the whims that are going to explain said feelings to us. Before that though, I want to show you guys what's going on with Yorick. So Yorick, as you can see, is actually friends with everyone except for the royal twins. Now, he doesn't have a bad impression of them. This might be because he is older and a little bit wiser, but he's always kind of stayed away from Zaro and Zara. Maybe he feels as though that is a very complicated pair. Granted, Zaro's nice, but the fact that he is Zara's twin, I feel a lot of the youngsters know that Zara almost has her claws in Zaro as though he is it's like a buy one get one free. You know, he's supposed to always be attached to her, and she feels a sense of ownership over him because he is her twin, and she doesn't like it when Zaro does anything that is kind of against Zara's honor, prestige, taking her side basically. That really aggravates her. So that's one thing that's been happening. So everyone steers clear of Zara, I think. Yorick's pretty much done that. He is friends with Nimue and Vampyre, but as you can see, he is best friends with Nydia and Zuleika. And at the time of me doing the betrothal, he actually had 100 with Zuleika and he had a 90-something with Nydia. So I interpreted that as Yorick wanting to have a marriage match with Zuleika instead of everyone else. Even though he feels pretty much all of these women or these young girls are like, you know, they're fine. They're fine teenagers. They're fine vampiresses. He had a preference for Zuleika. So he and Zuleika basically had the same idea growing up that they would end up together, and that has not happened. Instead, they have been bound to the royal twins. So that's what we have on Yorick's end. Now, for Zara, I think at one point, Zara actually had a red relationship with Yorick. It is now in the green. So her impression of him has changed. And this is solely because she knows Zuleika wants Yorick. And now she feels like she can take Yorick from Zuleika and she has won in something other than just a battle against Zuleika. So that makes her really, really happy. But also you can see her relationship with Zaro is getting really bad. And she has like a bad compatibility with him. And that is because she feels as though her brother has betrayed her by becoming betrothed to Zuleika. It wasn't his choice, but the fact that he went through with it is like a huge betrayal of Zuleika's trust, in a way, her expectations of him. So let's see what some of our lovelies are up to and how they might be processing this. I actually noticed in the course of doing the betrothal that Akira and Zuleika walked out twice. I had to call them back twice, and obviously they couldn't stand seeing that. It was very difficult for them. But let's see, she wants to be mean to Princess Zara. Now, Zuleika is not one to argue or cause a fuss. Does she have acne now? Oh my goodness, the stress of all of this has given her acne. But she is usually not one to pick fights. It's almost always Zara. But Zuleika, I think, feels so robbed of her friendship with Yorick that she is going to walk right up to Zara. She does not care that Zara is she doesn't care that Zara is the crown princess. Ooh, is she gonna imply that her mother is a llama? Maybe. I mean, Zuleika knows better than to say something bad against the queen, but she also has a bad relationship with the queen right now, and she doesn't like the fact that the queen rushed kind of her arranged marriage, or rushed her betrothal, and now she's done the same thing with Yorick, and she feels as though it's really unfair. So I could kind of see her implying that Zara's mother's a llama, the queen is a llama, and I don't think Zara would get defensive over this because she's attached to her mother. She would get defensive because to insult the queen is to insult the authority of the crown princess, because they belong in the same house, they are the same bloodline, and I don't think Zara would stand for that. But this whole thing has kind of made Zuleika a little bit bold. Okay, now on to Zara. Zara, guys, wants to be mean to Prince Zaro, and this is what I'm saying. She feels as though her brother has betrayed her, and it's almost as though he's siding with Zuleika, and that she cannot stand for. So I'm gonna actually summon him over. Let's see. We'll summon Zaro. She is gonna be mean to Zaro, and she's gonna insult him. And she's gonna say that, you know what? He deserves to be with Zuleika, and Zuleika deserves to be with him, just like Zara deserves to be with someone as fine as Yorick. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so this is a whole thing happening now. The young generation, guys, are such a mess. The young generation are such a mess. Okay, Lady Caleb wants to play a card game. So she might be wanting to get an idea of what's going on with everyone in court. So once she's done with her bath, I am gonna get her to call some of the vampires together and let's see what's going on. Who is she gonna call to the table? Okay, we only have these 3 ladies right now. Well, I mean, that is fine. She is gonna bring to the table the Queen, Lady Lilith, and Lady Shannon. Now, interestingly, her friendship with the Queen has gone down a bit from 100. And her, I think, romance with Shannon has gone down to a 0, but she has 100 friendship with her still. And then she has a higher friendship with Lilith than she does with Darling right now. Interesting. Well, these are the Queen aside. Shannon, Lilith, Caleb, they've kind of been out of the spotlight when it comes to everything that's happening. Maybe Caleb can see the drama happening with the kids. I feel like she's always been kind of sensitive to that. But rather than heating things up even more by bringing them together, she feels as though it's better for the older ladies to talk with each other. So maybe that's why she wants these particular ladies to come together and play a card game. And this might be kind of a vessel for having a conversation about maybe the best way they might be able to deal with all of this. Come on, let's sit down. Come on, everyone, sit down. Or at least whoever's able. Okay, I feel like Lilith, the fact that she's not participating and walking away from this, I think Lilith knows that Caleb's efforts to try and smooth things over are gonna be for naught, because there are people like Shannon who are not going to let it rest. There are people like Shannon who are going to take advantage of any disagreements that happen within the younger generation. So I think Lilith feels as though it's pointless for her to sit down here and try and strategize about how they can help the youngsters even more. And I think Lilith, now that she's no longer part of the council, like from the outside, can kind of see that there are fractures in the higher echelons of power. That even though Queen Darling seems perfect, and a lot of the vampires, like a lot of them really consider her the perfect queen, the ideal queen, she is making decisions, she has begun to make decisions that are kind of questionable. So I don't think that Lilith wants any part of that. Instead, she wants to go play the piano. I'm going to interpret that as her wanting to play the organ. So let's come here and we'll go ahead and play a song. Oh, Help I'm Not Alive? Let's play Help I'm Not Alive. That's really sad. But she's gonna go ahead, she's gonna play a little bit. We talked about this, but Lilith can see, she can see everything from where she's at. And she can see that taking part is not going to solve any of the problems, because everyone who's involved in the actual problems, they don't want to solve it. They just want to exacerbate it, make it even more dramatic, make it worse, so that they can somehow take advantage of it and turn it to their advantage, right? They want to be able to defeat their enemies, so to speak, and as long as they have, as long as there is a sentiment of you are my enemy, there can be no peace. Lilith. Lilith. I feel like not being part of the council has actually given her a lot of clarity. I am not going to lie. And finally, we have Lady Shannon, who wants to rile up a sim. So who the heck does she want to rile up? Apparently this card game is just not getting to her. Whatever Caleb's trying to say is not getting to her. I also feel like Shannon would not want to listen to any advice that Caleb has for her, because she still has a problem with Caleb and the Queen being a thing. Shannon has beef with everyone at this point, So let's see, who does she have the least relationship with in the house? And since Yorick is here, we'll kind of include him as well. She has a 31 with Yorick, a 30 with Zara, a 32 with Zuleika, a 72 with Nydia, a 56 with Akira, a 58 with Lilith, a 52 with Queen Darling, and 100 with Caleb. She has the least relationship with Zara. Okay, well, she's gonna go and rile up Zara. And I think Shannon, because this is interesting, but last time she was trying to like play chess with Zaro to see if he had a problem with the match, and now she wants to go and rile up Zara because Shannon is miserable. She wants to make everyone miserable. She's gonna try and like shake everything up. And you know what? Just because Caleb told her that they should help the youngsters, I think Shannon is petty and she wants to go to the opposite because she doesn't want Caleb to be the kind of reliable voice that the queen relies on, you know, that the queen agrees with and the queen listens to. She doesn't want any advice that Caleb gives to work out and for Caleb to actually be worthy of the title of counselor. She doesn't want her counsel. So she's going to do the opposite of what Caleb's asking, and she's going to go straight up to Zara, and she's going to basically ask Zara how she's okay with being told what to do when she has spent her entire childhood basically fighting against a potential match with Yorick. So let's go here and rile her up. Come on, Shannon, let's go cause some chaos. Also, I keep forgetting about this, but Shannon should most definitely have her alluring visage on, and so should Caleb. I have been doing this off camera, but I just keep forgetting to make it a thing on camera. Okay, is Zara coming to you? Yep, Zara is coming to see what all the fuss is about, why all the ladies are with each other. So she's gonna come here. Hold on, where is... Let's rile her up. Let's rile her up while it's fresh in everyone's minds. Come on. Oh, come on, honey. Is the princess coming down? Yes, okay, the princess is coming down. She's gonna rile her up. And Lilith finally came to the table, obviously because of this alluring visage. Zara's decided to come down to see what all the ladies are kind of whispering about. And Shannon, in a very twisted way, she's gonna say it as though, you know, we're trying to think of how to help you, but really, she knows exactly the words to use to step on the princess's toes and basically hone it in that you're being forced into this and you're not even fighting against it. Yikes. So guys, that is what we have going on for the court right now, but I think with that, the queen is going to kind of wrap up the celebrations of this royal engagement. And what is this? Lilith and Shannon have become good friends. I feel like Lilith is really good at kind of she's very, very aware of the type of person that Shannon is, but she does a good job of kind of keeping peace with Shannon, you know? Huh. Really briefly, I wanted to mention a few things I keep forgetting about. The first is that based on one of your suggestions from Kamal McCree, I've had the teens drop out of high school so they can be in court longer. I think that was a great suggestion, and thankfully I have the pack, which means I can do that, so I'll be trying to maintain that as all the kids age up. The second thing is in relation to the caretaker role and how I've been considering them as an additional member of court. Initially, they were supposed to have voting privileges and the capacity to be chosen for the council. Their breeding benefits were also dependent on whether they could earn enough favor with the queen to join the main court. But I've changed my mind on this whole thing because I don't think it's going to work, frankly. We finished all of our breeding in a single season, which doesn't function with the rotation system I initially had set out. But also, because they never visit the main court like the kids do, they have no chance of even building a relationship. So I think I'll no longer consider the caretakers like Lady Vladislav as a member of court, but if there is another death and a vacancy opens up in the main court, the caretakers will be considered for a promotion first as a reward for their service to the crown. And with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.